What's up, small fries? I'm Sera Proto, and I hope you liked the video. Howdy, small fries! This subject has been on my mind for a bit, but I wanted to wait on my new model being done before I made another video. But here I am. Your god has returned. Worship me by liking the video and commenting a shrimp or sheep emoji. Anyway, you probably heard about the Joe Cat situation. This was a while back. They're a YouTuber, like me, and straight, not like me, but they're also an animator and streamer who one day made a parody version of Lizzo's Boys called I Like Girls. Here it is in case you haven't seen it, and make sure you visit Joe Cat's page, link in the description and comments.
I like big girls, pretty kitty girls, really witty girls, singing ditty girls. I like the licky girls with the nice thighs. I like a good chest, no matter what size. I like the belly folds, I like the six packs, really tall queens, and the short stacks. From the mild girls to the wild girls. You got style girls, make them round girls.
Wow, I've never related so much to someone in my life. Of course, we can't have fun or do anything silly because enjoying yourself and having fun is cringe. So straight guys started spreading it and saying stuff like, "This is the gayest way you can be straight." So, you know, if you're a guy who hates women, you're gay. And if you're a guy who likes women too much, you're also gay. Fellas, is it gay to be straight? It's stupid. I have not heard of a more fragile identity than hyper-masculine straightness. Anyway, Joe Cat got a lot of harassment for this, and us YouTubers are not new to harassment, but it started to break away from the internet and into their real life. People doxed Joe Cat and started harassing his loved ones for a silly, harmless video about loving women regardless of how they present themselves. If you want to hear me ramble about other subjects like this, you should check out my Twitch where we are always honest about our opinions. It's so weird. Joe Cat basically got canceled for being straight by other straight people. I remember a few years ago conservatives on Twitter joking, "In the year 2030 it'll be illegal to be straight." They probably thought gay people would make it illegal, but in reality it's straight people who made being straight tantamount to a war crime. But this made me realize that people on the internet don't care what you do. People get canceled all the time and recover or do better than before. They're gifted stand-up specials and book deals. They only care about what you do if you do it in a way they view as cringy or cringe-inducing, as people with decent grammar say. So the crime here is not only being straight, but being cringe. And this isn't my only example of people only caring when something is cringe. Being cringe is the greatest crime you can commit on the internet. So why don't we simply call haters cringe for their actions? You hate trans people and all you do is talk about them? Bro, that's obsessive and cringe. You hate furries, yet you watch their videos just to make hate comments? That's hella cringe, homie. But that wouldn't be very effective either. Things like being hypocritical don't bother these kind of people who don't have a conscience or a sense of empathy. Although ignoring people like this doesn't work, as we're seeing in Joe Cat's case. So Joe Cat decided to step away from content creation. They're finishing the things they wanted to make, then they're done. They said, "If this is what it means to be a content creator, I don't want any part of it." Many of you might be upset and yet want to yell at those people, but that wouldn't work. They don't empathize with other humans. They only care that you're more miserable than they are. This isn't the only time that people have cared more about whether you're cringe or not than what you're doing. Last year, on another channel I made called Sera Talks Too Much, I made a video about Jellybean and Johnny Razor shorts. I really only made the channel to talk about things that may result in a copyright strike from a person that I was concerned about doing it, but they never actually did. So I started putting commentary here. Turns out, a lot of you consider me a commentary YouTuber. Anyway, Jellybean got into hot water because they did something similar to what every YouTuber does. At the beginning of the video, I ask you to comment, and every YouTuber does that, but sometimes you all don't know what to comment, but still want to help with the algorithm, which is very cool. So sometimes we'll ask you to answer a certain question, like, "Hey, what's your favorite kind of cereal?" I ask you to comment an emoji, shrimp or sheep, and Jellybean asks people to comment their catchphrase on their video. This is one of the many algorithmic reasons Jellybean popped off, aside from being one of the early adopter of shorts. Eventually their fans started commenting on other people's videos, that same catchphrase. Rather than people being grateful for the algorithmic boost, they whined because it was cringy, and Jellybean is trans, which is also likely double cringe, according to these people, completely ignoring all the fans they were getting, and the good intentions Jellybean and their fans had. Jellybean was considered cringe for a lot of reasons though. PNG tuber, VTuber, trans, happy, being successful, and LGBT, and just having a good time. Enjoying yourself in an expressive way is cringe, after all. So people threw a fit, and it resulted in harassment and doxing. Fast forward a couple years later, and someone named Johnny Razor makes a video telling his fans to comment, "The Waffle House has found its new host," on every video that they watch. Then at a specific date, they'd all delete their comments. No one really gave a crap, despite it being just as annoying, because they didn't view Johnny himself as being cringy. See, the reason Johnny did it was a prank, to effectively gaslight all of YouTube. But in actuality, what was going on is people see this weird comment everywhere, and finally decide to search it, which leads to people seeing his video on it, which then leads to them wanting to be in on the joke. This wasn't about a prank or a joke. No one was going to remember to delete all those comments. How many of you actually did delete your comments after the fact? Let me know, and let me know how many you think you got out of all of them. But this was an attempt at viral marketing. When Jelly Bean did it, they did it to boost their own videos. The fans took it too far, though. When Johnny did it, it was a marketing campaign hidden as a prank. I don't hate him or even dislike him for this. I don't think about him personally other than this specific instance. It's a good idea, and I've been trying to think of my own unique way of doing it that's just very positive, where you just say, like, leaving a comment on the video about your favorite thing about it. I'm just saying they were both equally annoying. Johnny's was worse because it was clearly an advertisement from the beginning, and in the end, the only person who got any shit for it was Jelly Bean. A minor was doxxed because people didn't like that Jelly Bean was cringe. So again, the worst crime you can commit on the internet is cringe. Cringe most of the time just means making fun of people who are different from the person calling it cringe. It's usually poorly masked homophobia, transphobia, ableism, or just furry hate, which on the furry hate one, we actually find cringe cops funny because of how weak the people who ingest this content are. My last example is the recent Sniper Wolf cringe. People have been making React content for years, and not once has the internet blown up as much as it did when Sniper Wolf doxed Jack's films, which of course was very wrong, but the writing was always on the wall when it came to React content. This has been going on for more than a decade. Why do you all suddenly give a shit now? Well, that's easy. Have you seen Sniper Wolf's content? It sucks, and it's cringe. Same with XQC. Actually, I take that back. XQC doesn't have content. XQC takes people's content. And XQC is cringe, and I'm a furry. And if anyone knows cringe, it's a furry. Bro sits there, mouth agape like he's catching flies in his mouth and steals people's content. But again, reaction content that's this low effort has existed for years, and content creators have been warning about what it would do to the platform if it was encouraged for a while now. This isn't even the first time the internet blew up about this. I remember when iDubbbz talked about it, and everyone actually gave a damn. But again, it's because he called out how cringe it was. And we saw how cringe XQC's junk was when Meat Canyon and Ethan from H3 talked to him about it. XQC absolutely did not need to make React videos. He was the highest grossing streamer before he started doing it. Now that he's on top, he's choosing easy, lazy money. He steals, then does nothing the whole stream and gets paid. Sometimes he straight up just leaves the room and lets the video run. It's irresponsible, lazy, half-assed, and it feels like he doesn't respect creators or himself. Then, if you try to copyright strike the person stealing your content, you become vilified as they send their millions over to you after you. For someone else stealing from you, you're the bad guy. There's a power dynamic here that is being abused, and XQC knows that. This is, of course, something people should care about. React videos are content theft, unless you don't show the whole video or provide commentary beyond, "That's crazy, bro." But most of you only cared when the people who were doing it were deemed cringe. It's funny, they're against canceling, unless that person is cringe, so I just ask before you get up in arms about someone, again, ask yourself why you're upset. Are you upset because you were told to be? Because they're cringe? And try to think of anyone else who does this thing you hate, but you don't consider cringe, and you give a free pass to. Because if you give a free pass to people doing it because they're not cringe, you're probably a hypocrite. Thanks for watching. If you harass people for being cringe, you can go eat a brick, because you're pretty fucking cringe too. Bye!